Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you guys? I hope all of you are doing really great in this period of COVID-19 quarantine days. So today we are going to talk about a new interesting chapter. One of a chapter that is very much close to my heart because it talks about what incentive plans and executive compensation. And it is most of the time, this chapter actually tells you about the various different types of incentives that are offered in any organization. In fact, this topic is close to my heart because it talks about benefits, how we can get benefits from the organization, how we can cash our organization, how we can cash our performance. So let's talk about what are the various different types of incentives that are offered and how we can differentiate individual compensation plans, organizational compensation plans, and team or group performance plans, the incentive plans I am talking about at the moment. Okay, this chapter is chapter number 12 of your book, and I am Masroor Soomro, faculty for Human Resource Management at Sakkara University, and this lecture is particularly intended for the students of MS PhD deficiency courses, MBA students, and the BBA students as well. So let's proceed. Let's see what this chapter tells us about, what this chapter entails, what kind of knowledge it actually going to tell us. So this chapter actually talks about pay for performance. The variable pay is sometimes referred as the incentives that actually affiliated, that are actually related with or that are attached with performance. That is why the variable pay is sometimes referred as pay for performance. If you are going to perform, you will get these benefits. If you are not performing, certainly you won't be entitled to have all these benefits. Rather, I would say that you would be entitled to be kicked out of the organization if you're not performing, because performance is ultimately related with your survival at the organization. So let's see variable pay. Okay, what is variable pay? As the word shows, it varies from person to person. It varies as per your performance. If your performance is good, you are going to get rewarded good. If your performance is very good, you are going to get very good pay. You are going to get many perks and privileges. So these are linked to individual, group, teams, and organizational performance. So a pay that is actually related are linked with the performance. If you are going to perform, you will get all these big circle of performance. So there are huge number of different types of incentives that are actually attached to your performance. And most of you might have heard about them. Most of you might have experienced all these incentives, enjoyed these incentives at different walks, at different times, at different walks of life. So let's talk about them in little detail today. So I will start from here. Recognition and reward programs. Okay, this program is the word shows recognition. Okay, the stars of the organization who was performing really good, we actually reward, we actually recognize, give them recognition for their performance. We reward their performance. So there are various different programs we shall be talking about in detail in forthcoming slides. Okay, team bonuses. If you are performing teams, so certainly teams are going to get certain gain share, certain profit sharing, or team bonuses are there. There are different pieces. Okay, price rate pay. Okay, this is another perks pledge. Okay, perks and privileges. You have heard this word simultaneously at many different walks of life. Stock options. Okay, employees can purchase or can be rewarded with the stocks. Okay, bonuses as usual, they are paid annually, semi-annually, quarterly, and it can be anytime spot bonuses. Sometimes they are referred as okay, improve productivity through gain sharing by sharing gain. Okay, Scalon plan basically improve share and Scalon plan is related with the productivity or production or manufacturing facilities where employees actually share the savings on the production. If you are going to reduce the cost and if you are increasing your productivity, you are going to get a percentage that are predefined. So you will be appreciated with certain percentage in terms of sharing the profit or savings. Okay, service rewards. How many years you have been working with us? Seniority bonuses, seniority or service rewards, how year wise you are actually rewarded. If you have a very long service here at our organization, you will be rewarded for it. So there are certain different formulas that are actually applied from it, varies from organization to organization. Trips, vacations. Generally, organizations give a certain amount to its employees to go for vacations or holidays. They sometimes sponsor their trips to different countries, go and have a pleasurable, enjoyable experience with your family. Depends. It can be an executive perk and privilege. So this bonus or incentive is related sometimes with the performance, especially with the sales force. Most of the time it is attached with the sales. If then if you are increasing, if you are going to achieve this certain percentage, or if you are going to achieve this target, so we are going to reward you with a trip. We will sponsor your trip to Thailand or Malaysia or Indonesia or Maldives. You might have heard about these things. Mostly in these days, pharmaceutical industry and mobile telecommunication or mobile cellular companies actually give such kind of incentives to their sales force or wholesalers or distributors. Gain sharing. Okay, the gain sharing is basically whatever you gain on certain project you are going to share within your team or you are going to share it individually. Praises. Okay, you praise somebody, you recognize somebody, you appreciate somebody. Commission. Commission is most of the time is attached with the sales force. So the smaller applicants are actually rewarded with sales commissions. Okay, ESOPs. Okay, we have been talking about these days SOPs. Follow the SOPs. Okay, this is not COVID 19 SOPs. This is employee stock ownership plans. Okay, the stock share options. There are certain different types of employee stock ownership plans we offer to our employees. Profit sharing. Okay, we share in the profit. We determine certain percentage that whatever the profit, whatever the annual profit is, we are going to share with our employees a certain amount of that profit. Monetary incentives. We actually reward your performance by giving you an envelope full of rupees or a check, whatever the case is. Spot bonus is if I am, this is spot bonus is sometimes little bit of appreciation on the spot. We actually appreciate you, as the word says, spot bonus. We came at your office, we came at your table, we asked for something and we got really impressed, and we said we are going to announce an SWOT bonus. The SWOT bonus basically is an individual bonus or for a team, a bonus for a team. Merchandise, we actually give our employees a certain privilege to buy our merchandise at a certain discounted rate. So these are the basic different types of incentives. Now let's talk about them in little bit detail. But before that, we have little bit more information why to use variable plans. Why organizations use variable pay. Obviously, as I already said, to appreciate the performance or to increase the performance or to keep our employees satisfied and motivated. So there are certain reasons that why we use variable pay assumptions. So some people perform better and are more productive than others. So there are people in the organization who are really diligent, hardworking, dedicated, committed towards organizations. Therefore, organization feels compelled to oblige them with certain benefits, with certain incentives. So we actually reward those hardworking employees than those who are actually just doing their work. So in order to increase the efficiency, remember, efficiency is more important, getting the most out of the least. Being effective will make you only work in the organization. Work in the organization. You are effective, that is why you are here. But we appreciate, we recognize, we reward, we compensate an employee who is efficient, who is better than effective employee, who gets most for the organization in least available resources. So in order to enhance the efficiency, in order to promote the efficiency in the organization, in order to increase the productivity of our employees, we actually appreciate, we actually give incentive to our employees. Better performing employees should receive more compensation. The second assumption is this: simple, straightforward. He performed well, reward him well. You are performing just the way we do in our class. If there is an employee, there is a student who is extraordinary, who contributes in the class extraordinarily, without any hesitation, I won't mind giving him or her an A grade or B plus. So better performing employee will receive more compensation. There is no compromise on it. There's no argument or discussion on it. Total compensation should be tied directly to the performance and results. If someone is giving performance, if someone is putting his effort or her effort into work, and we see he was very much dedicated, doesn't matter he achieved it or not. Remember, there's a asterisk on it. To achieve in some organizations depends, it's the philosophy of the organization. Some organizations look at the dedication, look at the effort of an employee. He did his part, he did his best, but unfortunately things doesn't way as we planned, therefore we didn't achieve a plan as we planned, therefore we should reward him. And there are certain organizations that actually attach bonuses and incentives with directly to the performance. If you are going to bring the results, we will reward you. Again, there's a philosophical difference from organization to organization. Some jobs contribute more to organizational success than others. Okay, the effective variable pay plans are attached with three things. There are basic three things that you have to keep in mind in order to develop or in order to ensure that incentive plan is actually successful and effective successful plan. So does the plan fit with the business strategies and culture? You have to ensure what kind of culture you are actually promoting it. Is it a competitive environment where employees are actually rewarded for their performance, or it is only just for the time being, or just to show off that you are doing this thing, you actually offer this thing? Is it only to show, is it only to show or keep things in the books of accounts that you are doing it? No, if you this is the policy, then the incentive plan is not going to be successful. These incentive plans need to be appropriate. Are the appropriate actions rewarded? You need to recognize the performance and results, and you have to reward the results, good results, not just effort. Is the plan administered properly? You have to ensure that the plans, whatever your plans are, compensation plans are, the variable pay plans are, they are well communicated to the employees. Employees understand how to achieve these plans. You should keep in mind that there are certain employees that are confused, that are hesitant to ask the questions. Rather, I should say they are afraid of asking to the management about setting incentive, that that we might consider them as inefficient, ineffective, incapable employees. They we might develop a perception about them, therefore they are afraid. You have to ensure that you administrate these plans nicely. You communicate these plans to those people who are confused, are hesitant to ask the questions. Then and there, these incentive plans are going to be successful, else there is no guarantee. Developing a successful pay for performance plan. The reasons why we use pay for plans or why these pay for plans are successful. The very first thing is you have to create a link between employee performance and the stretched goals of the organization. In order to realize, in order to achieve what you have planned, you need to create a link between the goals and employee performance. If you are going to appreciate employee performance, so certainly you are going to get motivated, satisfied employees who are actually working really hard to achieve their goals, but ultimately they are helping us achieve our organizational goals, because bit by bit becomes a sea, a drop by drop becomes a sea. So you need bricks to develop a wall. So an employee, when he performs, he is actually laying a brick. And an efficient employee works really hard. When he completes his projects, he actually is building a block that is strong, efficient, and hard concreted. Therefore, you need to create a link between goals, strategic goals, long term goals, and employee performance. The second thing is reward and recognize the employee performance. You need to recognize what should be appreciated, what should be rewarded. There should be certain KPIs, key performance indicators. Your performance management system should be robust enough that it should recognize performance. Okay, it should be free of biases as well, because in compensation and performance management, these two areas are actually really referred as biased areas, because performance management system is such a system whereby you actually get recommendation for promotions, you get recommendation for incentives, increments, all these things. And in the compensation area, it is you who develop the criteria to see that whether an employee has achieved something that is concrete. The facts and figures should be accurate, on the point. It should be projected on the board that an employee has achieved this thing. That is why we are actually going to reward and recognize his performance. Promote achievement of the HR objectives. Remember, one of the most prime objective of HR is the optimum utilization of resources. You are there to utilize the resources at the optimum level. I hope you remember the example that I gave you, when an HR personnel takes his wife to the restaurants, and how he saves money, how he saves himself 20,000 rupees, and how he keeps his wife satisfied with only 1,000 rupees with pani puri. Okay, ji. Fourth thing is to enhance result and reward employees financially. Okay, when you will reward employees financially, when you attach financial or monetary rewards with the results, every employee will strive their best, will work dedicatedly to achieve that monetary benefit. So these are the basic reasons why organizations develop pay for performance plans. Incentives are the one which actually helps. But the problem is you need to create a criteria. You need to have a good performance management appraisals. Okay, now we have some metric options for variable pay plans. Generally, in any organization, there are three kinds of different incentive plans. There are those that are attached to the organizational performance. These are the long-term incentives. And then there are those that are related to the sales. If you are a manufacturing facility or production organization or company that produces, then your variable pay plans should be linked to the sales of those production produced goods and services. And there are those that are related to the individual level. These are HR related, that actually helps us in keeping the employees satisfied, keeping the employee turnover cost reduced or declining. Okay, variable pay plans actually helps us in minimizing the cost of absenteeism. Those employees who remain absent from the work, we can reduce that rate of absenteeism from the work. Okay, because absenteeism actually costs organization. Okay, workers' compensation plans. You have to see how many claims we are actually receiving from the workers. Okay, these variable pay plans actually helps us in reducing or minimizing the accidents rates. If I am a production facility, if I'm a manufacturing facility, if I'm a textile company, if I'm a fertilizer company, if I'm a pharmaceutical company, then my employees are always are in danger. If I'm a mining company, if I'm a construction company, my employees are always at risk of their life. Therefore, in order to minimize the accidents at the site or work area or site area, you actually attach variable plans to the accidents, which employee should be given safety award, and the safety award should be a monetary award or financially attached with certain things, or stock options. There should be stock options. Okay, the sales programs are basically intended to increase the market sales or market share. Customer acquisition. If I am a sales manager, then sales manager has to increase the market share. One, if I'm a sales rep, I'm a sales representative, I'm a salesman, then my prime job is to acquire new customers. The customer acquisition rate. What is the rate of my customer acquisition? Growth of existing customer sales. Whether my existing customers are coming again and again for purchasing my goods or not, whether my existing customers are satisfied or not. So you have to attach variable pay plans to all these things. Then comes the long term, that is organizational performance, because as I told you, overall employees smaller objectives, short term goals helps us in overall realizing organizational goals, because each one of us work for the organization. So actual change versus planned change. Have when you will compare, when you will see the differences there, you are going to get to reward your employees. And this reward would be in terms of ESOPs, that is employee stock ownership plans. You are going to give your employees stock options. Okay, you are going to share in profit share. You are going to share your profit in terms of profit sharing. You are going to share your gain on any project with your team or project. So revenue growth, if there is growth in revenue, if the return on investment is really handsome, we are going to appreciate it. Average employee productivity change. If an employee, because of one department, average employee productivity has changed, we are going to appreciate that thing in terms of gain sharing or anything else. Moving forward, why variable pay plans fail? What is the best? As I told you, that every organization has its own variable pay plan and it has its own philosophy. So in some organizations, variable pay plans fail. What are the basic reasons why they fail? Because they fail to establish recognition areas or criteria or yardstick on which the performance is rewarded. They fail to link the strategic goals with employee performance. So here are certain actually reasons, the bookish reasons. So, and sometimes these reasons are true as well. Plan incentives are not seen as desirable. Okay, there are certain employees who thinks these plans are useless. They are not going to add anything into their salary. Okay, this happens when organizations keeps a meager amount as incentive plan. You have developed a plan. You are actually sharing certain profit. You are providing or giving incentives in name of gain sharing, or you are sharing a profit in terms of profit sharing, but that share is so much little, so much small, so much meager that it doesn't satisfy. It doesn't actually attracts or motivates. So nobody would actually put effort to achieve whatever the goals are, because when you see there is no difference between a hardworking employee and a normal employee. I did so much of my work. When there is, you must have studied the equity theory of motivation. So what you have to ensure the equity. If I am putting more effort, I should be rewarded more, and that more should look more. It should be handsome enough. So if an employee that is not performing is getting 10% raise in their salary, and if I achieved, I did my best, and I did perform very well, then other employees who actually received 10% raise in salary, and I am receiving only 5% in raise in my salary, apart from 10%, that means a person who was not performing received 10%, and I performed extraordinarily and I received only 15%. So the difference is so much small. The 5 points, 5% is nothing. You have to increase that share. If you are going to perform very nice, you are going to achieve this target. We are going to give you a 20% or 30% raise in your salary this year. So that incentive plan would be desirable for every employee. That is why such plans fail actually. Plans does not reward doing good job. Okay, if you did a good job, but the reward actually doesn't seem good, so nobody bothers to work good. Plan doesn't motivate. So if the incentives are so much small, so obviously it's not going to motivate me. Okay, the plan does not increase the base pay. Okay, sometimes it is referred as that an annual increment is on the base salary. So say for instance, if I am earning 40,000 is my base pay. So if I get a 10% raise, that means I am going to get 4,000 rupees as a performance increase or base pay increase. So it doesn't aids into, it gets add into my salary, but it doesn't matter because these raises are small, so it doesn't increase my base pay. Therefore, it's useless. I don't want to work on it. I'm not interested. So leave it. I'm doing my work. Simple. That is it. I'm not going to put any more effort into it. I will come at 9 a.m. and will go at 5 p.m. That's it. Don't expect from me that I would perform more. Plan rewards for team and groups rather than individuals. Okay, what if I am the member of a group or a team and I performed really good in that team, but organization has a plan that actually rewards whole team. Therefore, they will actually nominate that we are going to reward this team with 1 lakh rupees, and there are 5 employees, and they will distribute that share in equal. Then why should I work dedicatedly? Why should I involve in more? Why should I participate more when ultimately I am going to? There are social loafers in the in that group, the free riders who don't actually work, and I work dedicatedly in their place. I work for their work, and I am getting 20,000, and they are also getting 20,000 for doing nothing. Then why should I work? That is why. these variable plans actually fail. Moving forward, developing a successful incentive plan. How you can develop a successful incentive plan or variable plan? There are certain 5 postulates that you have to actually ensure that these are implemented properly. The very first thing is develop clear, understandable plans that are continuously communicated to all the employees of the organization. Use realistic performance measures. You need to develop KPIs. You need to develop performance standards. You need to develop performance yardsticks. How you are going to measure the employee's performance. Whether you are going to apply MBO, whether you are going to apply any other performance measurement tool. Okay, keep the plans current and linked to the organizational strategic objectives. You need to develop plans that actually helps you in achieving your short-term and long-term organizational goals or objectives. Then comes link results to pay out the recognized difference. Okay, those employees who will bring results and whose results would be recognizably in terms of difference will be appreciated financially or monetarily. Identify variable pay incentives separately from the base pay. It will not be the part of your base pay. They are apart from your normal salaries. Therefore, incentives are added not to your salary, but they are identified separately. They are the variable pay. In 1 month, you might get 20,000 extra. In another month, you might get 10,000 less because the incentives are not a part of the base pay. The base pay is your same amount. If you are paid 40,000 as the base pay, that would be your base pay. Apart from it, whatever effort you will put, you will get incentives for them. Okay, coming to the another point, that is categories of variable plans. There are 3 different categories. There are individual variable plans, there are team or group incentives or variable plans. Okay, there are those plans that are actually for the entire organization, for all the employees. Okay, what are the individual incentives or individual variable plans? The piece rate system. You heard about per piece. So your minimum target is for a day, for if you are working in any manufacturing facility. Okay, let me, I have to attend this call. Let's take a break. Okay, so the piece rate system. So per piece, an employee, say for instance, if I am working in a production facility, I am working in a garments company. These days it's winter and it's really cold. So there is a demand of clothes that are jackets, hoodies, and etc. I'm sorry, please excuse me. Okay, so I was saying, so it's cold, and these days there's more demand for these warm clothes. And because of this thing, because of the increasing demand, there is more pressure on the factories that are producing these jackets, hoodies, and all those garments that are used in winter season to keep oneself from the cold. So because of it, the supply need to be increased. Therefore, there is more demand for the supply and the work increases into factories. So employees are offered per piece system. Say for instance, if I am a small employee working in that garment company, that company is going to offer me an incentive that per day I have to produce at least 20 jackets or 20 hoodies. And apart from these 20 hoodies, if you are going to produce 10 more or 5 more, if you are going to work additionally this day or today, you will be paid 20 rupees, or say for instance 300 rupees extra per jacket. Initially, for the day target, I was actually paid only $50. So if I was supposed to produce 20 jackets per day, that means 20 multiplied with 20, I was supposed to take only 200, 400, 400 rupees. But now, if I actually produce 10 more, then I will be rewarded with 500 more. So for the day, I will earn 900 rupees extra. Sorry, 500 rupees extra. So this is how the piece rate system actually works. You are actually going to be get rewarded per piece at a rate of per piece rate per piece. Bonuses. Okay, individuals in working in the manufacturing facilities, construction, mining industries, they are actually given bonuses. These bonuses can be based on the performance, it can be on anything. As I am feeling good, I have achieved something, therefore I announced the bonus for my organization, a bonus of 10,000 rupees raise in everybody's salary. 5,000. I'm sorry, I'm being so much generous. I am a generous person. That is why. Okay, ji. Moving forward, special incentive programs such as trips, merchandise, and awards. These are special incentives. Not all organizations actually offer such kind of incentives, but there are certain companies that actually offer one of them or all of them, depending upon the nature of my company and nature of the philosophy of the management. Sales compensation actually includes commissions. There are very different formulas that are actually used to realize the sales compensation. Then comes the teams and group compensation variable plans, whereby the group or team results are actually rewarded. Gain sharing. In gain sharing, we have three or two different types. One is referred as improve share, that is improve productivity by sharing. This is one plan that actually talks about efficiency and increasing productivity, and another is the scanlan plan that actually talks about productivity cost saving on productive production. So if you are going to save certain cost, if you are producing maximum and you are actually helping us save the cost, so we are going to share a cash amount that you have saved over the production of certain thing. Therefore, goal sharing, there is another concept that we actually share the goals. If we achieve this goal, we are going to reward you certain percentage of this, whatever the benefit we are going to get from it. The quality improvement, if quality is improved, we are going to reward you in terms of certain percentage. Cost reduction, if you are going to reduce the cost, we are going to reward you for that thing as well. And then comes organizational variable plans. Okay, the profit sharing, if the organization has earned a handsome profit this year, then the company is going to announce that 10% raise in every employee's salary. Now that means 10% on the best salary. Whatever your best salary is, every employee is going to tend achieve or get 10% raise in their salary this year, apart from your normal raises or increments. Employee stock plans, employees are offered to buy certain stocks if they want to buy. Executive stock plans, executives obviously can buy maximum number of stocks if they want to. Deferred compensation, they can. This is an option that is actually given to the employees, that if you don't want this amount to be given to you right now, you can have this amount at any time whenever you want, or you can have this stock options. We don't have enough cash to reward our employees this year in terms of bonus. Why don't you buy the stock options this year? I will explain you the stock options in more detail since it is very complicated, but it's very interesting as well. Individual incentives. Okay, the necessary conditions for individual incentives. There are certain conditions that need to be met in order to achieve or get the individual incentives. The individual performance must be identified. Your performance standards should be clear, crystal clear to employees. It should clearly distinguish between good and bad. It should clearly distinguish between good and very good and best, better and best. Then comes the individual competitiveness must be desired. Okay, ji, being ambitious is good. Ambitious employees are really good, but you need to see whether this employee is on the right foot, is in the right direction. If he is putting his effort in right direction, then it's good. If it's going to get create problems through politics, organizational politics, then this employee need to be disciplined. You need to ensure it. Individualism must be stressed in the organizational culture. Everybody is actually rewarded for his own work. There is no teamwork or group work. Therefore, everybody is responsible for his own actions. So, if your organization works that way, then individual incentives can work very nicely in your company. Individual incentives are the piece rate system, as I have told you, straight piece rate that you are going to get this much of amount on every production. Differential piece rate system, piece rate system, piece rate. Now let me explain it a little bit detail in little detail. The piece rate is that if you are going to produce one jacket or one product of anything, whatever the thing is, okay, you are going to get 10% of that production cost. Say for instance, if that jacket is of 100 rupee, you are going to get 10 rupee on that piece. And the differential piece rate system is, say for instance, if you are working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, if you work extra or you produce extra, that amount should be actually added in your normal piece rate. That is, if you are actually producing piece rate, you are getting 10 rupees on per piece or 100. Now, if you are actually producing more from your normal target, day target, then you will be given extra amount apart from your piece rate. Therefore, I am going to pay you 5 rupees more along with the 10 rupees. That means you are now making 15 rupees on per piece. That is referred as differential piece rate. Bonus. The spot bonus. Bonuses are offered to employees because of employee productivity and efficiency. Spot bonuses are, I am really impressed by your performance. Therefore, I announce this much of amount for you. Special incentive programs. These are actually performance awards. I am really impressed because of your performance. I am actually going to appreciate your performance with 10,000 rupees check. It can be monetary, it can be non-monetary in terms of stocks, depends. Recognition award, we are going to recognize you as the best employee of the organization. Service awards, we are going to give you a lifetime achievement. So these are the service awards. Lifetime achievement is a bonus or incentive that is given to the employees who have given their life to the organization. Therefore, for your lifetime contribution to the organization, we are going to give you 10,000 in additional in your salaries. Now onwards, you will get 10,000 more in your salary from apart from the normal salary. Purposes for the special incentives. Why these incentives, special incentives are used? What are the special incentives? As I told you, performance, recognition, and service awards. These are referred as special incentives. Basically, the triggers for special incentives are to recognize the performance effort. You need to recognize who is performing very nicely, who is putting effort. Doesn't matter if you are achieving your goal or objective or not, whether you have achieved the target that was given to you, whether you have produced the change that was planned or not. You have done your best, and we are going to recognize that effort that you have put. We are going to recognize that dedication, that sincerity, that citizenship behavior, that involvement, that participation that you have put in achieving something. We are going to recognize that performance. That is why we are going to reward your performance. Expand customer service. You extended extra effort, you put some extra service to your customer. Your customer was really delighted because of you, and they are now producing good word of mouth because of you. Therefore, we are actually going to reward you with the thing. Increase in sale, you have increased the sales. Encourage employee teamwork in order to ensure or encourage or enhance teamwork, team behavior. Excuse me. Increase employee morale in order to ensure the employees are boosted, their morale is boosted. Therefore, we give them recognition. Enhance employee loyalty and retention in order to retain employees, in order to create loyalty, sense of ownership, sense of citizenship. We actually recognize their performance. Improve safety and attendance. If you are more cautious towards safety, if the number of accidents is reduced in your supervision, then we are going to reward you for that. If the employee attendance has been very good in your department, we are going to recognize you and that employee as well. With this is Masroor Soomro signing off. We shall meet in our next class. And in our next class, the second part of this SAM chapter talks about group incentives. So, what are the various group incentives? Till then, bye bye. Allah Hafiz. We shall meet in our next meeting. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.